Ayuk right, they motion McCaffrey backwards pass to McCaffrey, and he's going to throw downfield wide open. Brandon Ayuk, touchdown! San Francisco! He can run, he can catch,
is on
fire, and Christian McCaffrey can throw. Now they go empty, and McCaffrey goes right. It is Garoppolo looking. Garoppolo under pressure, throws to the back of the end zone. Caught by Christian McCaffrey. Touchdown! CMC!
Dynamite!
One, just got it snapped in time. Inside handoff. McCaffrey finds a crack. Gets wide. 10, 5, 10. No, he got nailed on the goal line. Is he in? He's right on the goal line. What a run by Christian McCaffrey! They're going to give it to McCaffrey coming left. McCaffrey, touchdown!
Hey.
Breezy,
Mo's Nose. Season 3, Peachy. It's about that time, everybody turn your TVs on. The Mo's Nose, Peachy, Breezy, and Fair to God. They keep it nitty gritty when they bring you 9 to talk. We two gorilla silverback, 9 silver.
You know it's busting the discussion cause we get it in. Every time you know we grinding, I was 8 to 10. We always play to win. The faithful going hard. It's Wayne, Breezy, Peachy, Mo's Nose, and Fear to God. Let's get it.
Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. We outline players up in chalk. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. Don't like it, better take a walk. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall. Line is tall. Nitty gritty, it's the line is tall.
What's going on, faithful the nitty gritty Niners Talk crew is back in the building. It's been a minute. We took a little hiatus. We got my man, you already know who he is. Mo's Nose is in the building. The one and only beautiful, the queen bee herself, Crystal Peachy B is in the building. What's going on, family?
Listen, man, that when you away on a hiatus, that intro music hit a little bit different.
It
So
really does.
excuse my bop. That intro music hit a little different when
Yeah,
you've been away for a while.
We do that too. Like, oh shoot, I forgot what it sounded like.
It did
love
hit
to
a
see
little
y'all.
different.
Love to see
Mose.
y'all.
It definitely hit. I forgot that was even the intro to the show.
We've been hearing a lot. We've been hearing a lot of breezy this, breezy that.
Little breezy this
Yes,
and breezy that lately. And that I took a break from that as well. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's been the latest. And now I got the Faithful to the Bay record that's out right now. Shout out to Lake City Fresh, Travis King. That joint, I hope it take off the way that it should take off. I need the Faithful to the Bay. I need the 49er Faithful to go out there. Make sure you download it on Spotify. You can purchase it for 99 cents on your stores or wherever it is you shop online. It's there. It's available. Make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. It's called FTTB. What's going on, Victoria? She is in the building, the one and only. What's going on? You let
She
Mose
fine, ain't she?
do the show.
She fine, ain't she?
Yeah. I had to send her a text and say, listen, let Mose do the show. I know he been acting fool, but he need to be on this show tonight.
Yeah. I got let out of timeout for the night. So
Peachy, how have you been? I know they haven't seen you in a while, but you've been behind the scenes doing the damn thing. You've been producing the shows, managing, all that good stuff behind the scenes. It's good to see you here. Hope all is well.
Yeah, everything is actually pretty good. Actually had a decent work day. It wasn't a manic Monday for a change. So everything was smooth. Everybody behaved. Nobody got out of control. I didn't have to pull out my whip today. So everybody just did what they just did what they had to do.
No whip today. All right. So no whip your head back and forth action for Peachy.
Right.
That's a good thing. Cause what kind of whip we talking about? We talking about the Catwoman whip, or we talking about the dominatrix type of whip? Which type of whip we talking about?
We just talking about the whip.
All right, we leave it at that. Hey, everybody out there, what's going on? I see that I got the Breezy's Bunch Club. All right, they're in the building. Shut up, Mose.
I saw your comment that you made during the Wayne Breezy show. I knew exactly where you was going with that.
The one time he tuned into the show. The
Right.
one time. I'll say the BBC crew or whatever, right? And he just
No,
jumped
you
on and
say
said,
hashtag BBC. But when you hashtag it, that's going to put you in the algorithm with a bunch of stuff that you don't want coming up with the Wayne Breezy show. I'm just saying.
oh,
Yeah.
hold on, let me wipe off.
That's actually a pretty good point.
I didn't
Where-
ask him for that point, Peachy. I didn't ask.
Someone who's single and does
Right.
their
Thank you, Mose.
perusing from time to time. I can definitely
but
see
Peachy,
that. Mose.
I felt like that deserved a text message. You know what I'm saying? That deserved a text message. What's going on, NY to the Bay? Listen to the crew. They out there. Leslie, Jedi, Boss is in the building. He's already talking about that. CJ Gardner. We'll talk a little bit about some of the injuries that's lingering around. Our brother Eddie G. Troy Noah is in the building. Coach Cruz is in the building again. VZ408 is in the building. And if I missed anybody, my apologies. We got a lot we want to get to. We want to have some fun on the show. All right. We want to start discussing the camp battles that are going to be taking place. Now, listen, today it got spicy, okay? Because if you, all right, top dog on the team, I'm talking like DMX dog, like dog, like I don't know if I'm gonna mess with that type of dog. Who would be your top dog, Mose, and who would be your top dog, Peachy?
Top dog on the team that you don't want to mess with, like you don't want to poke the bear. No pun intended. Nick Bosa. I don't think that's a bear you want to. I don't think that's a bear you want to poke. He only calls small bear because he's the little brother, but I don't think that's a bear you want to poke.
He doesn't look smaller than Joey Bosa when you put
No.
them side by side. Right.
No.
Right.
And he
All right.
also plays better than Joey Bosa. So let's just keep it 100 while we're in here on nitty gritty. So that's another reason that he should not be smaller bear.
Well, like most put the caveat out there. He's only called the smaller bear because he's the younger brother. But he
And
should be the
that's it.
smaller big bear.
There it is.
A little big brother, or whatever you want to call it. What's the name of that movie? Anyway, Peachy, top dog.
Oh, it's Trent Williams. I mean, without
Wait.
Trent,
The
where
bear
would the
and the
offense
gorilla.
be? Like literally, right? Like where would the offense be without Trent? Like for real.
I like this.
I don't even want to think about that. I really don't even want to think about an offense right now without Trent Williams in it.
Don't start, Jim. Don't you start, Jim. Listen, Jim, I want to know why you set yourself up for a fatality every time you join the show.
Yep.
I wouldn't start. But all right, cool. Peachy's spot on. Moses spot on. I'm gonna insert a different type of dog, and his name is Brandon Ayuk. And I don't know when he became this. I mean, I know when it happened, but I think it was always in there. The first thing he got put into the house. You know which house I'm talking about.
Yep.
And then after that, he got into a scuffle with another type of dog. And then after that, I just think he became the top dog. Like literally, he's like the alpha of the alphas. Like
Right.
he has a different vibe to his demeanor. And I think people are flocking to that. He's become a leader. He's become a vocal leader. And the fact that he's able to produce it on the football field is showing something even different to where people were going to sit there and be like, yo, that's BA. But like I said, we're going to hold that off for a little bit because we're going to get into a little exercise a little bit later. But I like that. 3 different dogs. One is a bear, one is a gorilla. And Brandon Ayuk, I don't know what he was, his nickname was, and what was that animal that they called him in college? Peachy? Jackacana, cantaloupe, something. What was it called? Antelope? It was something weird. A emu? I don't know. It was a weird animal.
I think it was a emu
Was it an emu?
or something like that. I'm trying
That
to
ain't him.
remember. Hold on. Let me see what it was real quick.
I don't know. He
'cause
had
I got it in my
an
notes.
animalistic nickname in college, and it does not, to me, fit
Yeah,
what Brandon
it
Ayuk has
didn't.
become now in the NFL. I said a jackalope. I be making up stuff. I be using words that don't be nothing like lupid. Yeah. Leslie, I'm sorry. But he had a weird animalistic nickname. If you guys can find it. Miss Debbie's in the building. What's going on, Miss Debbie? I know
How you
I
doing,
sent
Miss
her
Debbie?
a text message earlier. She better respond. Yeah. I don't see no text message yet, but it better be there when I finish this show. No, I'm just playing, Miss Debbie. It wasn't.
Oh no, yak. That's what it was.
It was a yak.
yak.
The yak. Yeah.
But
The
it's
yak.
funny that he was called an animal. Yeah, it's an ugly looking animal on top of
Yeah,
that.
it was
But
a crazy looking animal. Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk is known to get yak too. Like
Yards
it's-
after King.
yards.
That's what it was called.
I like that. All right, so let's talk about some things that are going on. Look, NFL. The injuries are going to start piling on. It's just the way the sport. We're hoping that bug has shipped. That ship has sailed for the San Francisco 49ers. We are dealing with one player in particular, Darrell Luter Jr., rookie 5th-round draft pick, who is on the current PUP list. Now, interesting about the PUP guys, he was placed on this list before training camp starts. So that means the Niners can, remove him whenever they want. There's no stipulations that he has to be on there for 4 weeks, and they could bring him back. Because it happened prior to training camp, it could have just been a day-by-day type of thing. Do you guys think he's going to be in practice this week?
Maybe not this week.
Yeah.
I think they take their time with him. I think
Definitely.
they saw what they needed to see in the rookie mini camp. So they don't want to rush him back. Obviously, with the injuries that we've had throughout the years, I think we're always going to be cautious with our players that show up with any kind of tweaks, just to make sure that they remain tweaks and they don't, exacerbate into more significant injuries. So we may not see him this week. If we do at all, he'll be like Jimmy was, like Debo was, any type of player coming back. He'll probably be on the side field, maybe doing some agility drills, something to kind of get him ramped back up, but nothing, with the team.
All right. Peachy, any thoughts on that? Do you feel a little different, feel the same? What are your thoughts about that?
I actually feel the same. I do feel like that we probably. I don't think that we're going to see him this week.
I can dig it. I mean,
Maybe
look,
next week.
I want to. I don't get it. Look,
Oh yeah.
if he's out there healthy, man, somebody losing the job.
Yep.
I don't know who it is, but somebody
Right.
losing the job. Somebody. That kid is football 100% through and through.
Yes.
He's just a football player. Looks like a football player, plays like a football player. And don't forget, he doesn't allow players to catch passes on him. Now, I think that's kind of like, I just think Kyle Shanahan trying to stash the kid for a year or two or something like that. I just feel like there's something tricky about it because we're kind of like filled at certain positions. I feel like if they're going to go Isaiah Oliver at the nickel, that's cool. I don't even want to see Darrell Luter Jr. playing the nickel. I feel like that's where they would put him. I want him outside, which isn't this the last year of Mooney's contract, or does he have one more year after this? So that's where I think it gets a little tricky. Like if he has an extra year, is it an out for the Niners? If so, does Darrell Luter
I think
Jr.
he has
move
one
up?
more year. I would.
That's where it
I
gets
think
tricky.
So.
Football's weird, and it's weird how they do these contracts. So I feel like maybe they'll just let him chill on some ice, let him chillax, get acclimated to the game, whatever or whatnot. And if he starts to show, signs of taking that spot at an outside corner, you can see them maybe possibly move away from a Mooney instead of extending him and then inserting this kid in to that position. But he has to stay the course. Like he has to stay on top of his game. He has to stay on top of his condition, his health, and all that good stuff, right? It's going to be tough to do so. Listen, interesting news. Former 49er player Jalen Hurd is officially back in the NFL, and he's on the New England Patriots. I got to give him a round of applause.
What is as a running backs coach? Wide receiver coach?
Not the
I
Wayne
missed you,
Breezy
Mose.
show. I just realized that this is not the Wayne Breezy show. This is Nitty Gritty.
Quality control?
He signed as a wide. He signed as a player.
Which is really crazy because, like 2 days ago, he worked out for the Texans, and now all of a sudden, bam, he's a Patriot. That was so quick.
Maybe they think he's the second coming of DeAndre Hopkins, and
I mean, to be in a running for DeAndre Hopkins and to settle for Jalen Hurd, I mean, Listen, you made out like a bandit. Like to get that lucky, to be this close to DeAndre Hopkins and that fall through. But
my
but the consolation is Jalen Hurd. Wow.
But
Wow.
Let's be fair. Kyle Shanahan drafted this kid, and there was some upside to the kid. If
Definitely.
the stipulation is if he found a way to remain healthy, right? He took a year or two off from football. Maybe he got his body right. I think that's what it was, right? Coming out of college, pretty banged up, trying to get acclimated, trying to get to a certain weight. Things like that kind of trigger the body, and the body just act funky at times. Maybe he just needed a break. And listen, he worked out and made a team. Now, will he make the 53? That's a whole nother question. Fluff Ninja, thanks for tuning in to the show. We appreciate you, fam. Have fun at work, my guy. I just got to cut him. I'm going to cut him a little bit of slack. I mean, it sucks he ain't doing anything for us. He had that one preseason game against Dallas, and everybody was like, yo, this mother sucker's about to be a problem. And he was a problem. He couldn't stay healthy. So, he's on the Patriots. We'll see what happens. He's a former 49er. He's a beloved one, too. Like, people loved him. Like, they felt like he was going to be something really good for us or whatever. Let's see what he can do with the Patriots, man. Maybe Bill can get him to do some things that the Niners couldn't do. All he has to do is stay healthy. He can make plays. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. Certain things he could do. So we'll see what happens. Look, Tony Kidd said just like Kinlaw. Just like Kinlaw is another person that couldn't find a way to stay healthy. But Kinlaw's still here, and I expect him to make the squad.
I hope that he has shown some vast improvement, which all the signs are pointing to him that he did.
Yeah, he looks really good though.
He does.
Like
he really does.
But that's another thing. Like, I never played pro football, so like I can't tell you what it's like. I mean, we can only ask the players. But if they come in a certain way and then they're asking them to play a different way, and then those players got to go through a shock to their body and change the whole complexity of their body. Like, I can't even imagine how hard it is. It's like going to the gym and you're big, like you done buffed up, but now you got to lean out. It's going to take some time. Like, it ain't happening overnight. Like, you got to eat different. You got to work out different. You got to sleep better. Like, it's a bunch of stuff you got to put into it. And I just feel like with the issues to his knees, the up and down or whatever they was asking him to do, what's the best example I can use for it? You ever go to get your oil changed and next thing you know, they tell you there's 55 things wrong with the car.
When they create 55 things wrong with the car.
But because they changed, they screwed the nut of the oil a little loose and made something else pause.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like when he started losing or gaining, these things started happening. The knees started flaring
just
up.
like those filters. No matter when you buy the filter and put it in your car, the one they show you is ridiculously bad. Even if you just bought one like 2 days ago, I'm like, show you one that's so bad.
I'm like, show me the barcode on that joint, yo, because that ain't mine. They do be trying to get you, and then they charge you $70 for an air filter. I'd be like, listen, the joint $12.99 at Walmart. But yeah, never mind, guys. You guys are so bad. You guys are bad out there. I forgot. All right, let's talk about the video Trey Lance put out, which was another video of his workout with Jeff Christensen. Great quarterbacks coach in the NFL.
Bro, have you seen the quarterback series on YouTube?
Oh, that was good. That's good. It's good. It's good.
But seeing Christensen at work with Mahomes and what he was having him do, if that's what he was having Trey do.
Well, he came out and said, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong because I don't have the quote in front of me, but you guys are going to see a big difference in Trey Lance this year. So for him to come out and say that resonates, like it should resonate. And then you saw the last video of the Trey Lance situation, and you saw how his release was different. It was a lot quicker, a lot more fluid. His foot, where are you paying attention to his feet? Like the wide base, that's the one thing Kyle Shanahan likes, right? Feet not too bunched up together, which makes the defense feel like he's going to take off and run. Nah, it's wide. Now you got to guess. and he can run or throw out of both. I just feel like, given the opportunity, Trey Lance right now is going into training camp with the mindset to where he's going to take this opportunity and make the best of it. And whatever happens, happens. I think that's where it's going to come down to. So any thoughts about the video? Did you guys get a chance to see the latest video that was out, that's been released? Or if not, that's pretty much what it was. Like, he had a better throwing motion, quicker release, footwork looked good, still had the wide base. He just looked like a pro quarterback. Now, all that's going to have to come down to context with the defense being thrown at him, plays, checks, progressions, all that type of stuff. But baby steps, guys. I'm just going off of he's been working, and we got to give him some credit for working out, you know. But any thoughts on Trey Lance and any positive words for Trey Lance going into camp this week?
Just feel like that he definitely needs to mentally show that he is improved as far as, you know, like getting a grasp of different things at reading different, you know, just a little bit. And I know you don't really have that much because you don't, you know, so before anybody says that, I get all that, but he's still going to go against like the number one defense in the National Football League. And he just, you know, just to show that he can read things faster, that he can process faster. That's my word, that he can process faster. That'll be exciting to watch his development with that.
I like it. Mose, anything else?
Here's what I'll say. I like the videos. I think it's good for him to put that out because obviously we the fans, we want to know the work that he's putting in. And it's good to see that, right? He doesn't have to prove anything to us, but it's good for us to see. But I do question the motivation of putting out so many different ones and having so many people put out the different videos of him with Christensen, of him with Mahomes, of his throwing motion. Is he kind of getting a sense from the team that they moved on? Is this, you know, a pre-audition to training camp and preseason for another team? I would hope it is not. I would hope that he's doing all of this work and the San Francisco 49ers reap the benefits of this young kid going through the growing pains, figuring it all out, and then maximizing and fully realizing his potential. But if he's not getting that from the organization, and I'll throw this wrench in too. Oh, he's great. He's a hard worker. He's killing it in the offseason. We love him in the locker room, which has been a stark contrast to what we've heard about him or lack of what we heard about him before. Like, it's kind of throwing a wrench in my thought process of what's the real motivation for these videos.
I'm not sure. That's a great point, but I'm not sure. I'm sure there's some type of motivation. I'm sure there's some people in Trey Lance's camp that wants to, that they hear all the negativity.
Yes.
You get
and
what
all
I'm saying?
The hate.
And you know, Trey Lance is gonna come out right and say, "Oh, I'm not. That stuff doesn't bother. It bothers him."
Oh yeah.
And I think that's why you're seeing so many different clips of him put out, owning on him learning the skill set, him progressing, him getting better. And I don't know if it's, but I like where Moses is going. I don't know if it's for the 49ers to see, because at the end of the day, Trey Lance has to walk into camp and do it. So I don't think those videos even matter to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm sure they see it. But I think for Trey, his biggest thing is, listen, they signed another quarterback in the offseason who's also a former third-round pick, who also they traded up to go grab the New York Football Jets, who kind of like didn't really amount to much in the NFL. Now he's a 49er, and he has the opportunity to be a quarterback for this team with all of this arsenal that I have. So I feel like for Trey Lance, that should be his motivation, because everybody's coming out saying Sam Darnold's going to be number 2. to Brock Purdy being number one. And if Brock Purdy isn't healthy and he isn't ready to go, Sam Darnold is number one. And then it's just like, dang, like this kid has to use that as fuel. And if he is as good as Jeff Christensen is saying he is, and he's able to go out on the field and show that, sky's the limit for the kid. It's a win-win. It's a win for the organization. It's a win for Trey Lance and his camp and his brand, right? So I think Trey Lance going into year 3, maybe you're right. Maybe there's some stuff behind him putting out this stuff. I just don't think the 49ers really care. I think they like, listen, show up, and show out.
Right.
Like, do it here. That's when it matters the most. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens with Trey Lance. But I just wanted to point out that the latest video, it's a 7-minute video, it's on YouTube, it is going through his motions, and he just looks a lot better if you've been really following.
Definitely
and studying.
polished.
Yeah.
Definitely looks a lot more polished. Absolutely.
A lot more polished. Speaking of quarterbacks, let's talk about Brock Purdy, because Valerie V Photography on Instagram had some pictures of Brock working out. And listen, the dude looked chiseled. You could tell like his legs look stronger. I don't know what his arm is going to look like, but the dude just looked like a machine. And it's funny because we called Brock like the Terminator at one point.
Yes.
He's starting to look and be chiseled and cut up like a machine. Now, how will that translate on the football field? Well, camp is coming up and we'll soon find out. Did you guys get a chance to take a look at some of his pictures and his workouts? I see Mose is on some new intergalactic technology stuff.
Bro, these kids, dog.
Oh, I understand. That's why I have one here. The other one's grown. But no, I get it. Thoughts on Brock Purdy? Will he be practicing soon? I feel like he will be. And he looks good in these latest photos of Brock. Any thoughts on him?
Listen, I hope he gets back healthy, because him healthy, Trey healthy, that means we have 2 really good quarterbacks. Speaking of that quarterback series, in one of the later episodes, spoiler alert for those who didn't see it, but when Mahomes got injured in the playoff game, I believe it was against the Jags, or it could have been he had to come out for that one series, and Chad Henne led them down on that drive. Well, in the post-game locker room speech that Andy Reid gave, said, it's always good to have a great quarterback, but when you have 2 great quarterbacks, that's a plus. So great may be a stretch of a word, but I feel like we saw what Brock Purdy was able to do. We know the potential that Trey Lance has. So Brock getting back healthy is a plus for this organization and for this team. So, wish him a speedy recovery. Although I do want to see what Trey has, and I want to see him with this starting offense and see if he's able to realize that potential. Whether you look at Trey as an insurance policy or Brock as an insurance policy, that's a good insurance policy to have.
I agree with that. And here's the thing. We're going to have a quarterback competition, guys. That's
Yes.
what Kyle Shanahan wanted, and that's what he's going to get. You got Brock coming back. You got Trey. And look, if Trey Lance does what I know and I feel he's going to do, Kyle's going to have to make that tough decision.
Oh, yeah.
And I know Brock was the leader of the clubhouse prior to all this stuff happening and things like that. And I know Brock did do damage last season for the 49ers. He came in, he filled in and did stuff. If Trey Lance comes out and woos or enamors the daggone organization and training camp, like, what is Kyle supposed to do? So, like, he created this. Like, you get what I'm saying? This is a creation by Kyle Shanahan and Shanahan only. So
Yeah.
he's going to have to figure it out. We just got to sit back and let me just say this. Whoever the quarterback is, all we want them to do is help lead this team to the 6th Lombardi.
That's
Doesn't
right.
matter who it is. Do we want to see Trey Lance play? Yup. Do I want to see Brock Purdy play? Do you want to see? Yup. Like, we want all of this to happen. But it's always ultimately going to come down to Kyle Shanahan and his decision. And I think Brock Purdy's health as well as even Trey Lance's health, man. Like, we don't even know how healthy he's going to be when he steps on the field. We know he's healthy, but he starts to move. And is he gonna be a little ginger mentally trying to move
Right.
from that broken ankle? We saw what it did mentally to Jimmy Garoppolo.
Never the
Let's
same.
not- I know it was a ACL, but let's not act like Jimmy was the same Jimmy when he was traded for. He came in, he was moving and grooving and dancing like he was Muhammad Ali back there. And the moment he got injured that next season, he came back. He was scared to move.
Yeah.
And
See,
it also
yeah.
too, in addition to that, it took Dak Prescott, who had a similar injury to Trey. I think his was
Trey.
his was a
More
little
close.
bit more.
That's
His
right.
was a little bit more. You know,
It was closer to Trey's.
It was
than
closer.
ACL.
Now Dak's was worse.
Yeah,
As
'cause
far
you
as
seen-
severity,
Yeah.
but it was a similar
Right,
injury
yeah.
to Trey's, and you saw Dak when he came back. You know, those first couple of games, he was a little bit hesitant. He was a little bit, ginger on it, just kind of trying to protect the ankle, protect himself a little bit until he got enough reps and
Yes.
realized after taking a couple of hits, okay, I'm fine,
Yep.
we're good. And your body, right? Especially Breezy, you play football, I play
Yes.
football. You know when you injure a certain part of your body, but you feel healthy and you go back out and play, the hit that could re-injure it. So you got to kind of get that hit. I'm not just talking about getting sacked or somebody hitting you. Like, you got to get wrapped up and, have bodies around your ankle to feel like, okay, it's strong enough. We're good. I don't feel any residual pain. It's just a standard bumps and bruise because of me getting tackled, me getting sacked, whatever. Okay, but I'm good now. So he has to kind of go through that and take those first 2 or 3 hits that he might think may damage it or re-injure it, come out okay, and then wipe that out of his mental Rolodex.
See, because one thing about it is that a lot of people don't understand this. I know we do, and probably almost everybody in this chat does, but these defenses are going to be coming for that arm. They are going to be coming for that arm. That is what they are going to be coming at. And they are not going to stop. They are going to keep going and going and going. So Brock used to the idea that he's going to get hit in that arm because they are going to come for it. That's just what opposing defenses do. Now, our defenses, training camp and all that, that's different. But when you get out there, like in the field of play, like week 1, if Brock is the starter and goes out there, that Philly defense or that Steelers defense is going to be coming for that arm because they're going to want to test it out.
For sure.
So they can see, like what, and he's human, so he's probably, it's possible that he's going to get rattled. And even though we know, that he can take hits because, what happened in the Tampa Bay game when we thought we lost him because they hit him so hard and they knocked him out. But they are going to keep doing that. They're going to test him. They're definitely going to test the water. Now, once he gets past that, that'll be great. But his first test is going to be week 1 if he's the starter. Because you better believe that I forget their defensive coordinator's name, but anyway, he's going to have them guys railing for that.
That's a tough defense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, so you have somebody out there who's coming back off of an injury, and they're just going to want to see what it's about. They're just going to want to fill it out.
I agree 1,000%. And if you haven't gotten a chance to watch the quarterbacks special, shout out to Peyton Manning too, man. Dude producing films.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
If you haven't gotten a chance, I'm going to say this. I knew quarterbacks got hit, but I didn't know they got
Yeah.
up. I didn't know on every play.
Yo.
Wait.
I gotta listen. I don't want to linger on this too much. I do have a newfound respect for Kirk Cousins.
Yo, he's a tough mother. Wow.
But I understand why there's so much talk with reuniting him with Kyle Shanahan.
I get it too.
Because you talk
He
about
fits.
quarterbacks and going through injuries and stuff.
He fits.
This series showed me 2 quarterbacks in Patrick Mahomes and Kirk Cousins that battled through injury. Like, we saw it live when it happened. Like, they showed the camera angles like Mahomes didn't want to come out. But, like, you really see him like, no, I'm good. Like, Andy, don't do this right now. Like, this is the playoffs. I need to be here for, like, don't do it. Like, they battled through so much stuff. And then, like, what they put their bodies through
every week.
through a week, and then the recovery that it takes. Like, Kirk Cousins has a husband and a wife chiropractic duo that come to his house to give him treatment. Like, it was absolutely nuts, bro.
I brought that up to say that, number one, the quarterback has to be the toughest person on the field.
Got to be.
Like, physically and mentally. You got to put them together. I will say this about Brock. That's one tough mother sucker, yo. Like, he's tough. Look, this is how Brock is so tough that with one arm he came back into a game.
He tried. He definitely tried.
I mean,
we cannot say that Brock didn't try to give it a go. He came back into the game, and even at halftime, he tried to come out. He did some warm up throws, and he went to Kyle. And he was like, "Kyle, this ain't it, bro."
Mose, and we were like, "What was that?" It was like a ugly screen.
Yes.
To Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
And we were like, they ain't gonna do it.
Something ain't right.
Right.
Yeah.
But my point is he has that. He has that toughness, that physical ability. The question is, can he match his mental toughness with the physical toughness? Because he just physically couldn't perform. I felt like mentally he wanted to be there. But now coming back from an injury that took him out, now it's going to question his mental. And the same thing with Trey Lance, if we're being fair. Again, kid got his ankle broke by a 300+ pound defensive lineman.
Yep.
Like, and you and I, we watched Trey Lance pop up like nothing happened, right? I know you are. And then he went right back down because that ankle was broke. Like, you saw the break. I'm like, dang. So I think he has the toughness too. The physical toughness is there. Now he has to find a way to come over that hump. So it's going to be interesting to see how the quarterbacks come into camp. I know they're coming in gung-ho. They're going to come in blazing. They're going to be ready to throw. I know this is not what you should do, but you got to unleash our defense. Let them hit them. Let them get banged up. Let them get wrapped up. At least it's by our own guy opposed to somebody else. It would suck to lose a player, but I don't think that's going to happen. I just feel like our defense needs to be unleashed a little bit just to get these quarterbacks back into football, a football mindset. They're going to be taking some hits, like Peachy said, and most. I watch Patrick Mahomes. When Patrick Mahomes got hit by Max Crosby, like, well after the play, and he punched him in the arm.
Yeah.
I didn't know. We don't see that on TV.
No.
So that means that they get hit continuously,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah.
Even if it's late and the refs don't want to call it.
Yeah.
Right.
You heard the official say
it was just a little jab. It was just a little
punch the
jab
quarterback
underneath
in
the
their
breastplate. He was like, it was part of the play. And Patrick was like, bro, I'm walking to the new line of scrimmage. What do you mean it's part of the play? You done blew the whistle. The play's dead. He was like, it's part of the play.
it's gonna be interesting.
That showed me something too, because I'm sure Patrick gets a lot of breaks, but I'm sure in some aspects he probably doesn't because he's so great.
Yeah.
Like, don't complain about this. Complain about a real penalty, a real flag. Complain about that. But I love that you brought up the mental aspect of these quarterbacks because, yeah, the injuries play a big part, but I do think there's a mental aspect to not naming a starter and having a quarterback battle both ways.
Yes.
Because Brock could be thinking, okay, I came in, I wasn't supposed to play, but because of injuries, I did play and I showed all of this. But now I'm injured. I don't know how my arm is going to be coming out from this. Right. I don't know when I could be back to 100%. And they have a guy who they spent so much capital on, number 3 overall pick, has been anointed as the future. And now he's working with a guy like Mahomes and Christensen and kind of fixing some of those mechanical issues like, dag, how am I going to beat this guy out? On the opposite side, Trey is like, okay, I'm coming back from the ankle. I'm working on these mechanical issues, but I have to worry about not reverting back to my old ways. Yeah. And I got this young kid who was a 7th round pick who came in 6 games and lit it up, Had it not been for an elbow injury, I may not even be getting this chance to get
That's
my
right.
job back. Like
Preach it.
the mental aspect, just outside of the injuries, going from number 3 overall to Mr. Irrelevant and vice versa, that's going to take a crazy toll on them. So you talk about who's more mentally tough. And I don't think the loser of this battle is less mentally tough. I feel like play plus that mental toughness, just it's sports. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. So it's going to be really, really fascinating to see this play out and to see who kind of rises above all of that and just plays good football. We have a roster that is built to win now. Who's going to rise above that, put all that aside, and win this team football games? I can't wait to see it.
And all I'm gonna say is, number one, may the best man win. That's what it's gonna come down to. We got 4 quarterbacks headed into camp. All right. And it wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers trade one of these guys or do something weird like Brandon Allen beats out Sam Darnold or something like that. I don't know. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens. It's going to take place in camp. When you got Brock Purdy and you got Trey Lance, I just feel like this is a good problem to have. I know you can win with both. I know we've seen Brock do more, but I still feel like that if word ceiling, I still feel it's higher with the guy like Trey Lance because he has a different set of abilities that we just haven't seen translate into the NFL as of yet. So it's going to be crazy. Yeah, I see it too. We're going to take a pause real quick because we have our first super chat contribution
super chat
of the evening, and we're going to spend 1 minute on every word. So we're going to break this down nice and slow. So I'll start what? So what does what mean to you? No, I'm just playing. What up, fam? This is from Sean. He's got to get the fall point.
Thank you, Sean. We love you.
He says, you think our D will slip on all the BS flowing from Gunkarkalo? Let's start there. Let's start there. Do you think the D will slip on all the BS flowing from Jimmy Gunkarkalo?
First of all, I don't think our defense will slip on anything. I actually think whether it's Trey or Brock Purdy, I think our defense is going to get better because I think they'll be tested more. As we've always heard throughout sports, and iron sharpens iron, right? We heard a couple years ago Fred Warner tell Trey, bro, make us work out here. Stop throwing these dink and ducks. Stop trying to run. Throw the football. Make us work.
Yep.
They want that work. They want to be tested in training camp and in practice so that come game day, they've seen everything. They know how to read and react. It just becomes muscle memory. So I don't think our defense will take a step back following Gar Kakalo or whatever you call them. I actually think we'll improve and get better.
Peachy, you want to add to that before I go into it?
No, you pretty much did everything I was going to say, so we're good.
Yeah, I mean, the newest wrinkle to our defense is Steve Wilks, and the NFC West hasn't seen Steve Wilks with these type of weapons. He's definitely coached in some great players during his tenure in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
But listen, Talanoa Hufanga was an all-pro last year. I can't even imagine unless something stupid, silly happens, and you know what I'm talking about, starts with an I, for him to decline. Like, it just doesn't even make any sense now that he's working with a defensive back-minded coordinator. You know what I'm saying? So imagine he got the defensive linebacking skills from DeMeco Ryans, and now he's about to get the defensive secondary skills from Steve Wilks. This kid is about to be a weapon of mass destruction in the NFL for years to come, as long as he can stay healthy. I'm excited for him as well as the secondary. But Steve Wilks says one thing every single interview. You want to know what he says? It starts up front. It starts up front. And I think the 49ers front, I know we lost a couple of key cogs to the defensive edge rushing, but they added guys. And you didn't believe in those guys that we had a year or two ago. Charles, you getting him in a trade. You didn't believe in no Samson Ebukami. I didn't even know who he was when he played for the Rams. And they didn't do don't disrespect. He ain't really do much here either. We got some guys that we can fill in the gaps. You got Austin Bryant. You got Cleveland Farrell. You got some guys that we can fill in space with. You brought back Kerry Hyder. And I don't care what anybody says. This is the year of the Drake. And I ain't talking about the singer, rapper, whatever you want to call TV guy. I'm talking about Drake Jackson. He looks good. And I guarantee he's going to go out there and be a menace to society for the San Francisco 49ers. So it starts up front. Nick Bosa is going to he has help. Imagine what Eric Armstead is going to be now that he has his counterpart. Look, Eric Armstead would be all pro if DeForest Buckner was still on this team.
Facts.
Just
and
saying.
it's no slight to Buck and it's no slight to Armstead. But when Buck was here, other teams didn't respect Armstead. They didn't focus or pay attention on Armstead. They focused on Buck.
Bro.
So he took advantage of them one-on-ones. Now we have a committee of guys where we already know that y'all are going to focus on the defensive player of the year. We know you're going to put 2 guys there.
Yep.
And although he's not a pass rusher, we know that y'all also are going to be worried about Fred Warner. He's the best middle linebacker in the league.
That's right.
He's cerebral. He's athletic. You got to worry about where he is at all times. So if the quarterback is focused on Fred and the running back or the tight end is focused on Fred and you got 2 guys focused on Bosa, now the numbers are in our favor. Though Bosa and Warner take up 4 guys on the offense.
Damn.
That means they only have 7 guys for our 9.
That's right.
And you didn't even mention Javon Hargrave.
No. Because technically he's new in our system. So while he did what he did for the Eagles, and we know how stacked that defense is, he's coming to a new system, a new scheme. People still think, he might not be as effective because he's still learning the Chris Kosaric, the Steve Wilkes defensive type of system. So you're focused on Bosa and you're focused on Warner, 2 of the best at their positions. Good. Like I said, that leaves 7 for our 9 if those numbers match up. We always should have an advantage somewhere.
Yes.
Numbers. I like that.
Absolutely.
That's the title of the show. Numbers, Moles. Keep that in mind. All right, let's go to the second part. It's going to be stinky in the heat of Vegas. So this is the week 1, if I'm not mistaken, preseason matchup, right? Now, we are also going to be practicing with them that week, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be the joint practices.
Oh, defense is ready for that.
Yes.
I'm
Jimmy.
You know they've been wanting, for real, y'all. You know they have been wanting to be able to get
we came to collect those picks you used to throw us.
Facts.
If I'm Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't play this game. I'm not ready to go.
I don't practice.
I don't
play. No way.
This is the one game I would take off for the week.
Let them young boys get reps.
Yeah. This is it.
We see how he looked against the Chargers, and how bad that he looked against the Chargers, and our defense is just on another stratosphere compared to that right there, and plus. They also have something extra special for him just because of, certain situations or whatever when it didn't work out like they should have, and it's his fault. So a lot of them are raring to go. They raring to get him.
I know football is fun and game, but for the 49ers, this game will be personal.
It's very personal.
They didn't win the Super Bowl. There's several players on here who ain't win no Super Bowl. And they've been probably waiting for an opportunity, a legal opportunity,
right,
to hit their quarterback. He's not wearing a black jersey with red writing.
No. No more non-contact.
No more non-contact.
So Sean, we truly appreciate you. Since excited to see this team. I was saying the same thing today, Sean. Like, I got uber excited. Like, something just hit me. Like, it was like a quickening. I'm like, yo, this team is going to be crazy this year. I'm super excited. Sean, thank you for the super chat contribution. I see Mike from Nothing But Niners out here. Now, mind you, I sent him the invite, but he claims I ain't sent it to him early enough for him to make, reservations to be on the show. So Mike was invited to be on the show because I knew he would stick up for Jimmy Garoppolo at some point. Jimmy got something to prove. And you're right, Mike. You're 100% correct. He just better not come out here and prove it against the Niners in a preseason game. It just wouldn't fare well for him.
I like this right here.
Jimmy gonna be the yes, he is. Listen, all I'm saying is, Jimmy coming off that injury too, and he's been injured numerous amounts of times, so maybe he's able to deal with his injuries situation mentally a lot better than our two young quarterbacks that are going through like their first big major injury during their careers. But I'm not risking it in no damn preseason game. I'll show you what I could do when week one hits. But the Niners defense is fast and furious, and they're
I'm telling you, Jimmy should be an expert at it, where he could teach a class on how to
Mike hates
how to handle himself during the injuries.
Mike, don't I always call you out, Mike? When do I not call you out, Mike? I'm sorry, Mike. I love you, bro. I just wanted you to be here. It was going to be a great topic. I wanted to get your thoughts on training camp. Jimmy's next tweet from Sean and favorite movie, Leaving Las Vegas. Listen, I think Jimmy Garoppolo's I really think he's going to do well in Vegas. I just don't think he should play week one preseason.
Well, he's surrounded by like Patriots West. So he might as well. I mean, they went and got
Peachy?
many ex-Patriots that he played with to put around him. Not to mention the coach. So we're just, like a bunch of offensive like receivers and just whatever's left over from the Patriots. They basically just went to Vegas.
There's one non-ex-Patriot that's going to want the damn ball. So listen. We're going to play a quick over. Are we drafting this guy high in fantasy football? Devontae Adams. Are you picking him high? Is he still a top receiver now that there's a changing of the guard? Derek Carr can get the ball down the field.
I'm absolutely not picking him high.
Damn. So Peachy's absolutely not. Mose, I'm just curious. There will be a new fantasy football show with Peachy and myself. We're going to be doing a fantasy football guard show for you guys. So this is a little preview of what you're going to get with our special guest, Mose Knows.
Yes.
Yeah. It is.
Just give me a yes or motherfucking no.
I don't think I can. I don't think I can. The only saving grace is that he is Devontae Adams, and Jimmy locks on to receivers. Like, if he has one guy that he's going to throw to, one or two guys, it'll probably be a lot of Devontae Adams and a lot of Hunter Renfrow, as long as Renfrow can stay healthy. So, but I can't bank on that.
I'm not reading that one, Peachy. You could read that. You do it. I'm not reading that one.
Oh, no.
Shout out to Sean for the super chat. You think Jim's father was in the sanitation union?
Listen, guys, we got to stop bashing on the guy. He's not here anymore. But
you have no idea what Jimmy Garoppolo is saying to his team about the 49ers. You do not
I know. He talking
That's why
trash.
I have no problem.
I know Jimmy talking
problem
trash.
at all saying anything, because I bet you that all of their ears are probably burning. That's how much he has horrible stuff to say about the 49ers.
I will say this. Preseason week one is must-see TV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's for the first 3 minutes of the game. Jimmy going to get hit on the first play, his ass is out. I can tell you that right now. Like, he's coming out. They need him. I don't know. I feel like Devontae Adams, he's just the top wide receiver in the league. Can he catch passes? I haven't seen him do what DeAndre Hopkins has done throughout his career. And I know DeAndre Hopkins has dropped a little bit. But DeAndre Hopkins has caught touchdown passes from nobodies. So I haven't seen Devontae do that. I guess you can say he did it with the quarterback. Who was what's his name?
Stidham. Jared Stidham.
He did it with Stidham.
Stidham.
So
Devontae Adams
Leslie
cracked me up. Like the whole when he first was caught talking about the fact that this didn't go the way he thought it was gonna go and his role there, and he was wanting out. We got to remember that why he was wanting out. Because all football players, hence the NFL Top 100, watch people play around the league, and he's very aware of who Jimmy Garoppolo is, and he's very aware of what he does.
It's gonna be interesting,
and it just don't match up. Do you remember that? What was that on that show that said, "You have one here that doesn't look like the other," or whatever it is?
I don't know that show.
I'm trying to remember what it was. But anyway, that's kind of like what we have here. Like, it's not, that's why they surrounded him by all those Patriots. And, because, they're like used to the short game or whatever. Every once in a while, you might throw one way down the field. But other than that,
but he couldn't do it in San Francisco. That's what that's what we were doing here. Nothing was down the field. Short. I don't expect him to do it in Las Vegas either. If he couldn't do it here, what's making me think he's gonna do it there? I don't care if they Patriots or whatever. He ain't played with him in the past several years. Like, he better throw the ball to Devontae Adams all the time, and that's it.
I'm telling you, the first fantasy advice that I can give to anyone.
I'm not picking
T-Jack. See, he knows about it. It was on Sesame Street.
Listen, I said I didn't know the show. Listen, I don't remember that segment.
But my whole thing is that for real, like, Devontae Adams should not jump off the page like he normally does in fantasy, unless you're just planning on stashing him, hoping for a miracle that might happen later on.
That's
something
tough,
like that.
man.
I mean, I'm saying, like, he's not gonna be the same. He's gonna be aggravated even after week 1. Like, he's really gonna be aggravated.
Well, Eddie put out this contribution. Shout out to Eddie G. Balls for Adams, because that's how he spelled Adams. Maybe Jimmy's improved. Maybe he sees better. Maybe he feels better. I don't know, but that's another reason why you may
sees better in what, the women he dates?
I don't know. I'm just. My heart goes out to the young fella, but at the end of the day, for DA and Devontae Adams, that might be a problem. He might play 1 or 2 weeks and then end up, So, all right, let's get to these training camp battles. Now, what's kicking off the training camp? Ayuk comes out today, and he's coming for anyone in a white jersey, right? Anybody wearing a white jersey, he gave the finger of the middle to, right? And how can you not love this guy? Like, he's calling my... Mind you, last year he got into a fight with Fred Warner, right? Mm-hmm. That set the tone for the rest of the camp. That set the tone for the rest of the damn season. Like last time I checked, Fred Warner was knocking cats off, knocking cats out. I'm going to need him to punch Fred Warner in the face again, so that way Fred could come in knocking cats out. But what I'm trying to say is Brandon Ayuk is setting the tone. And here's what I loved about this. Now, Drake Jackson kind of hit me with the scholastic clapback. Mm-hmm. That's harsh. That's kind of how I read it. That's what you said. But Diamador Lenore, the hyena, who was probably sitting back cracking up.
Yes. He was rolling.
He was cracking up. Said, ain't none of that going to be around here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk about these battles. All right, we can go through a few of them, but I want to get a training camp battle that's must-see TV from Peachy, from Mose. Must-see TV training camp battles. All right, let's go.
Go ahead, Mose.
All right, the first one I got, it's must-see TV because I think we want to see what this player has. And I think we want to see how these other two players develop, okay? We talked about Nick Bosa being the Bear. We talked about Trent Williams being the gorilla. We talked about the animals. We know that that's going to be a battle. But what I'm interested to see is new defensive tackle Javon Hargrave against our guards, Aaron Banks and Spencer Burford. I want to see. I want to see if the young boys can hold up with the wily old veteran who still got a lot in the tank. We know he's vicious. We know he's strong. And I think he offers something different than what Eric Armstead does. Eric Armstead is a unique type of player. It's very rare that you get a 6'8" defensive tackle. So he has long arms. He has long legs. How he attacks you is different because of his length. With Javon Hargraves, he's short. He's stout. He can get up underneath your pads. We know he has a good center of gravity. We know he's got a strong lower body to be able to anchor and move those guys when he gets up under that pad level. So I want to see how our young guys in Banks and Burford are developing. I think going up against a guy like Javon Hargrave every day in practice is only going to benefit them throughout the season. That's one of the matchups that I'm looking forward to seeing.
I like that,
Nice.
man. Hargrave versus Burford, Hargrave versus Banks. He's going to line up on both sides. This is going to be interesting. That's something you definitely want to watch out for. And here's the cool thing, right? Hargrave is the top defensive tackle in the league.
Yes.
If these two players and our guards can own in and learn some things from this guy, because now they're
Yes.
going to get like a real test. It's like having Aaron Donald at your practice. I'm not
Facts.
saying he's Aaron Donald, but as far as size and stature and being able to get up underneath and his hands and all that type of stuff, don't forget, man, this dude had double-digit sacks on a stacked defensive line last year. I just want to put that out there. So that's going to be a really good iron sharpeneth iron. If Burford, who I think has a tremendous year too, by the way. Aaron Banks had a great year too last year. I think Burford has a tremendous year too this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. But that's a dope battle. Peachy, give me something. Give me something. Give me something.
Okay, so everybody knows that we got Christian McCaffrey part of the season last year. So now we get a renewed with an awesome offseason, just work. Me and Breezy posted so much stuff about CMC's work that he has put in. So how about the best running back on the 49ers faces the best linebacker on the 49ers?
That's tough.
Fred Warner, Christian McCaffrey. With Fred Warner's speed and the attack mode, that's going to be so great for McCaffrey. And then with all of Christian McCaffrey's skills, and we could be here all night talking about how amazing this dude is. But that is going to be a must see with your eyes glued to the screen, everything, because he's so versatile. He can do so many things, and Warner is going to keep Warner on his toes. And that's going to help us, during the season, with all these running backs we're going to be playing, because the best one is right here on the 49ers. The number one running back. And he's so amazing. From catching the ball, from running the ball, the way he runs the ball, the way he can just sideswipe he's quick and agile, and he's just amazing. And it's just going to be a great battle to watch him go up against Fred Warner.
Can I add a little spice to that?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Fred really couldn't get in his bag last year with CMC because he was a mid-season acquisition.
Right.
You still trying to ingratiate. You trying to welcome him into the family. You not a guest no more, CMC.
Like you at home.
You at home. You a brother now.
Yes.
So all that smoke that Fred had for BA and the offensive guys,
He gonna release that Delph, bro.
and I want to see how CMC, because CMC's a quiet guy. He's mild mannered. He don't get into the back and forth. I want to see how he handles Fred in his mouth, because Fred got mouth, but he backs it up.
Max.
So that's that's the spice. That's a perfect matchup, Peachy, because honestly, I want to see if Christian get a little spicy. I want.
I think it's in there, Mose.
I think it's in there, but even if it's not with the words first, I want Kristen to do some kind of dirty juke movie, make him fall, and then turn around and then point at him. Yeah. See if CMC juke Fred out of his cleats, turn around and point at him. Yo.
Come on, listen. I'm more excited about training camp battles than I am for the preseason. Listen, look, the 49ers just got a squad. They got the best players at like every position, at most positions. Right? Look, when you said that, when Peachy said that, all I kept saying was, "Damn, 2 out of 3." Like I think CMC take it. I think Fred pops him on the first one. CMC don't like the hit, and then he come back out and get the next 2.
Hit him with the wop wop.
Hit the wop wop. Like the wop wop. Yo, bro, that's a matchup I'm excited to see. And here's what I love about it. I love the fact that you got PG said the best running back in the NFL going against the best linebacker in the NFL, which means it's only going to make the best running back better and the best linebacker better, especially in coverage.
Exactly.
Yes.
Especially in coverage. Iron. But even in tracking the ball, Fred is going to have to play spot on, wrapping, and tackling. Because you know what CMC does? He doesn't go down after the first fucking contact.
Nope.
You better wrap and tackle his ass.
Yep.
But don't hurt him. Don't hurt him. I'm sorry, I got hyped. Don't hurt him.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow. Yeah. Those some battles. Those are some battles. All right, so look. I want to see how well George Kittle toys with Talanoa Hufanga this year.
Ooh.
I like that.
I think Kittle's going to force him to play better in coverage. You know, Talanoa Hufanga likes to play around the box, right? But I think it changes because they interchange. Him and Gibson interchanges. And there's times where, and we saw this week 1, where the safety has to drop back in coverage because the offense dictated something totally different than what they, predicted was supposed to happen. And then it was a blown coverage, and Dante Pettis got that touchdown. But I'm saying I think Talanoa Hufanga, this is the year he gets better at recognizing what's being thrown at him. And I think George Kittle is going to test him all training camp long. Now, I think Talanoa Hufanga lays the wood on that cat one time, dog. I think Kittle gets popped one time. I think he gets popped once, and then after that, Kittle it ignites Kittle. It flicks a button, and then Kittle turns into the machine. So I'm excited to see the matchup between the safeties and the tight ends. I'll put safeties and tight ends together because they're interchangeable. You know what I'm saying? So any other matchups, any other training camp battles you're looking forward to?
Let me take a look here because you did take. I was gonna piggyback off of that one and do.
Well, piggyback. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna do Jair Brown versus Latu and Braden Willis, but you mentioned tight ends and safeties. That's all in.
But you know what I think, Mose? Can I throw this little curveball into your game plan?
Go ahead.
I think the way Steve Wilkes uses Jair Brown is more like one of them floating type of positions out there where they only have one responsibility. Right? It's not going to be bumping the stop the run. It's not going to be this. If they come out in 3 safety sets and on that defense, they come out with 3 safeties, expect Jair to be making a play if that ball's in the air. He has the ball tracking skills, and he understands football. He's a playmaker by nature. By nature. And so I think if you see him, especially early, when they start fusing him into that defense, I think he's there for one thing and one thing only. And Deion said on the last show, this team going to have more interceptions than they had last year. He said it should be a minimum of 25. We had 22 last year. That's a big number.
Minimum of 25. That is a big number.
That's a big
number. Okay, I got one for you.
Okay.
I know y'all going to say I'm a hater, but I don't care. Forget y'all. I'll be a hater. And this is where I also want to see where iron sharpens iron. And if he wins this battle, he'll have my respect as long as he stops dropping passes. I want to see Jawan Jennings in the slot.
Don't you say that again ever again.
Versus Isaiah Oliver in the nickel. That's what I want to see.
That's a battle. Here's what I like before you go into your thing real quick, because I'm going to let you rant. size. You got a big
Exactly.
slot against a big nickel.
Exactly. Exactly. So
Speaking of big nickel, that's where we can use Jair Brown. Oh shit,
bro,
Yo.
he interchangeable because
Yep.
Isaiah
sorry.
Oliver can also drop back in
They
safety.
played it-
So
God.
if imagine this, we line up in a certain play, and at the snap, Brown and Oliver rotate. One drops down, one drop. Steve Wilkes is going to do a lot, but y'all know my distaste for wide receivers dropping passes, and y'all mentioned all of them drop passes.
It's
They
universal.
do.
Yeah.
They do. But I have a problem with Jawan Jennings dropping back. And I know y'all said, well, he's great on third down. He's great when you need him in the big spot. That's cool. But if we want to be a dominant football team, which we all believe we have the capability of being, he's got to catch passes on the downs that aren't crucial downs. I'm not waiting for a big third down in the fourth quarter that we need to convert because we're down 2 and we need to get in field goal position. I'm not waiting for that fourth quarter, fourth down, game is on the line and we got to go to Jawan for a big play. Do that stuff earlier in the game so we're not in that positions to look for you for a big play. So I think the play of Isaiah Oliver up in his grill, challenging him every day, that should have him be a little bit more focused, be a little bit more sharp, be a little bit more cognizant about what his responsibilities are. Number one is catching and securing the pass. So I think, again, we talk about ironing, sharpen iron. I think Isaiah Oliver coming over, trying to make a stamp on this team, try to prove that he belongs in this secondary, going up against somebody like Jawan Jennings every day. Hopefully that they make each other better. And like I said, if Jawan wins this battle and he can reduce or eliminate those drop passes, he will definitely earn my respect.
I love it. I love it, man. That's a tough take, and that goes for all the receivers. But BA did lead the team in drops last season. He was targeted, dropped the ball. But a lot of those drop passes are them trying to really run with the ball, not in their hands. But then there's some easy bread and butter joints that just go right in and out of their hand. And I'm with you, Mose. If you're a wide receiver or any type of pass catcher with hands in this game, you got to catch the ball, man. And that's vital to Kyle Shanahan's offense. He likes to run the ball, but he likes to throw those short passes so that you guys can get some yards and things out there. All right, Peachy, give me one more. Mose, what you got for that?
I was talking. I didn't see that comment until I changed.
I think Danny Gray going to be fired this year, but that's just me. Peachy, give us another battle, and then we'll be done.
Okay. I have to go with. Okay, let's see how Charvarius Ward handles Debo.
See. Now, there's not a defensive back in the NFL that wants it with Debo Samuel. That doesn't make him the best wide receiver. It's just that he just plays too freaking tough.
Right.
He's looking to hurt you.
Right.
I don't even want Ward near him. Put a rookie out there.
Because real talk, if Jalen Ramsey can't do it in a game that matters,
right? Exactly.
Like I consider Jalen Ramsey the best corner in the league,
best cornerback in the NFL.
And every single time he's going up against Debo Samuel, he disappears. What's crazy is he shows up against Devontae Adams, he shows up against DeAndre Hopkins. He shows up against Mike Evans. He shows up against these other guys.
Jamar Chase. He shows up against all of them.
But when it comes to Debo,
it's this mentality, bro.
It really is.
I'm telling you, Peachy.
I like the matchup because, not to say that he isn't, because I think he is.
But
I think going up, I think going up against Debo will make him that much more physical.
Right.
The only pushback that I have is because there aren't a lot of receivers. Because there isn't another Debo Samuel in the NFL, I'm not even going to say aren't a lot. There isn't another Debo Samuel.
There's not. People are trying, but there's not.
I don't know how much he would benefit from that. The only benefit that I see would be in our division and him going up against DK Metcalf.
Okay.
DK Metcalf twice a year. DK doesn't do what Debo does.
Correct.
But you got to be physical going up against a dude that's 6'4", 225 pounds, look like a human Batman suit, and runs a 4.3. Got to be physical because you know Debo. He's gonna come in. DK is overly emotional. When you get into his head, he kind of get like extra feisty and zesty, and always want to start a fight and do stuff after the whistle. And for his credit, Mooney did not back down at all last season.
Oh, not
going up against DK.
He got hurt on one play against a team, but other than that, he doesn't back down. Mooney Ward is a lockdown corner in my book, but Debo doesn't play receiver like receivers. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, he doesn't play like a natural receiver. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't. It's a good matchup, but I think it's in favor of Debo because all you got to do is throw an underneath play, and then Debo can change his direction very quickly.
Very quickly. And the way he's looking this offseason, getting his body ready, that may be – I'm glad you brought that up, Breezy. That may be more beneficial than anything is helping our guys deal with that change of direction because you got to deal with it with Ayuk. You got to deal with it with CMC. And now Debo is getting his body together and getting right. So if he come into camp right and can build on that, so that I think that change of direction for everybody, for our corners, our safeties, and our linebackers, getting used to that quick change of direction. Because there are some other shifty players that we're going to have to face on our schedule this year. So getting used to that quick change of direction, that's only going to make our defense that much better because we already swarm as it is. People already know that we are a defense that is on top of you. When you try to make them shifty, quick change of direction moves, and somebody is right there in front of your face, they're going to be like, yo, these dudes is everywhere. Like, I can't do anything. I think that is a good benefit. I'm glad you brought that up, Breezy.
I just the 49er receiver. It took me a minute to understand what Kyle Shanahan was doing. And now I understand it. It's not just Yak. It's having the players that can run from side to side. Because that's what's going to wear that ass out. Like you want the defense to get tired in the fourth quarter.
And that affects how they cover. That affects if they bite on a move, if they don't bite on a move. And when that affects their coverage and if they're dropping and if they're too far back, then that opens things up for Kyle's offense and he can pick his spots. Sean is going crazy today.
Sean is like my brother.
I'm pre-reading the chat so I can understand what he's saying. I'm pre-reading it. This one's super clear.
Okay. You want to pull it up?
Yeah, just pull it up. So Sean with the super chat contribution. Go ahead, you can read it.
Thank you, Sean. Y'all know once you go from 20 to 100 super chat, you only get 50 more letters. Amen to that. That's true. YouTube's chili bastard.
I love it. I love Sean.
Yes.
Like, not because of the chat, just the way he talks.
I ran into this all the time.
Peachy was telling me about this. I had no idea what she was talking about. But YouTube is on some funny money. Go ahead.
You think Thomas is gone this year?
I like this question. I like this. Let's start right there, and then Peachy will break it down. All right. Do I think Thomas is going this year? I think it's going to be super tough for him to compete for a spot, unless he comes into camp looking like Rambo and hitting and getting physical. And I don't know if that's his game. Like, it used to be. When he was in Michigan, when he was, he used to play a lot of press man. What does Steve Wilkes like to play? Press man, right? Yeah. With some zone concepts. I felt like they forced him to play zone. Every time Ambry Thomas got beat on the play, he was already giving up 7 yards underneath. There was no way this kid, even with the speed that he had, there was no way he was going to grasp it. He didn't give up the touchdowns like, unless they were in the end zone, but he didn't give up those big plays down the field, but he always gave up a catch. Always. But he was there to make the tackle because that's what he's good at. Does he make the squad? It's going to be really tough. With Darrell Luter Jr. being on the PUP, I feel like he has a chance, but it's going to be tough because there's some dogs on that defense that are salivating and ready to play. So it's going to be tough. What are your thoughts on that?
To me, it's going to depend on the severity of Luter Jr.'s injury. But Charvarius Ward, Diamondo Lenore, Isaiah Oliver, Samuel Womack, Darrell Luter Jr., that's 5. We're probably only keeping 6 corners. So that means that last spot is between Ambry Thomas and Quantrez Knight. Can he beat Quantrez Knight? Sure. But Quantrez Knight has been playing really good. And let's not forget there's Deshaun Jameson out there too, who was
is the dark
lights
horse right
out
now.
this summer.
Yeah.
Yep, and rookie minicamp and
And he comes from a school that's known for producing
Texas.
some really good secondary players. So we've talked about it all episode with the quarterbacks, with other positions. It's a mental game. And we've seen it before with a corner that had mental issues in Akello Weatherspoon. If you cannot get that mental aspect controlled in your game, you're not going to be successful. So if there are no improvements in that area of his game this year, then I don't think Ambry makes this team.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Love the kid.
Yeah.
He had a shot. And last year he came into camp just not right. His body wasn't right.
Yeah.
He didn't have the makeup of a football player. He battled with injuries throughout that whole time. I read the comment from Johnny too.
Yeah, like what is he?
Because the way that this thing is.
Hey, Johnny Dell, man, my wife is in the chat, man. Chill out, dog.
No, but the way the thing is, the way that the caption is blocking your face, you got the Mr. Wilson, like, behind the all we see is your eyes.
From Home Improvement.
From Home Improvement. Thank you, Peachy. All we see is his eyes. Yeah. So he might be a guy that's going to end up on the bubble, perhaps makes it back to the practice squad, but there probably will be a team. Ambry Thomas rookie season, the second half, he shut down some good-ass wide receivers. I don't know what happened.
Got to remember Odell. I mean, come on now.
I just don't get what happened. You got the interception. I don't get what happened. I don't know what happened. I just felt like he didn't come into camp right last year. I'll leave it at that. And it was. Yeah.
But same thing with Akello. Akello, that one season, he started off like the first 4 or 5 weeks. He was balling.
That was the
he gets injured.
Yeah.
He gets injured, comes back, and he's not the same guy.
He was mentally different. Mentally different. Let's go to the next part. Lenore and Nickel or too slow?
I mean, I think if we're talking about speed, I think he's too slow for inside or outside. But I think his fundamentals makes up for his deficiencies in speed. His technique is just so good. And I think the way he played outside last year, especially if we're talking about a battle with Brandon Ayuk only making him better, I think he stays outside opposite Javarius Ward. I think we brought in Isaiah Oliver to play the nickel just because he's a little bit more dynamic on the inside and with that versatility that he has at safety. So I think Lenore stays outside.
Peachy, you agree, disagree? What are your thoughts on that, on Lenore?
I agree with what Mo said.
Yeah, I always felt like he was an outside guy. Usually when you're the third best cornerback on the team, though, they're going to make you play nickel. And I think that's where he was going last year until the injury to Emmanuel Mosley. That's where he was. You know what I'm saying? And, he has reps there. But playing nickel is probably one of the toughest positions because you always got to play with your head on that swivel. You're running on slants every single play. You got to have great footwork. You have to have great reaction, and you're behind better be able to tackle. like you know what I'm saying? So nickel is the thing. But I think as an outside corner, you nailed it, man. He's learned how to use his technique properly. Eric Crocker always refers to the D to the hip. I think he's playing in that type of vicinity. He did that even his rookie season when we were in Philly, and that bomb went down the field. And because of his technique, even though it was a catch, it wasn't a catch because he was out of bounds. Like he plays, makes big plays, and he didn't give up a freaking touchdown damn near to the end of the season last year. So let's a round of applause for Diamador Lenore, man. I think the hyena is going to be a problem this year. But to answer Sean's question, I think he is a tad bit slow. And I see people in the chat saying we're not giving Womack any love, but we will, I promise.
Yeah.
But I want to finish this off with saying that congratulations to our nephew Kanan. His hearing went from 25%. Now he had zero problems hearing me, but I got that field Negro voice. So you
Breezy.
Some people might not know what that is. So you know what I'm saying?
Lord.
But I got that louder voice. You know what I'm saying? So Kanan can hear me all the time clearly, but this is great news. Congratulations to Kanan and Sean. I know you're happy. I know
Absolutely.
Sean is dancing right now. You know what? Where's the praise break? We got a little time.
Hey,
Come on. I don't know if you do this in your church, Sean. Hey, listen. All right, we'll dance it out because we could dance for 15 minutes straight. But Sean, we're happy for Kanan. Listen, let me explain with the field Negro voices. So like, it's just a yelling voice. That's all I meant. I'm just loud to where you can hear me in the field. I ain't mean no derogatory term because I'm getting the flack. Look at this. Man, Man, listen. All right, I'm sorry. If I offended anybody, my apologies. Okay, anyway, back to the show. We lost like 15 followers when I said that. My bad. Look, it is what it is, yo. But listen, let's give Womack some love because this is what I like about Womack. We'll end the training camp battle sessions right there. Let's give Womack some love. I like Samuel Womack III. I thought he got thrown into the fire, and he did the damn best he could, like, at that time. He was asked on his first NFL, like, defensive back play against the Atlanta Falcons. That's when he came in. This motherfucker he gave up the touchdown, but wasn't Kyle? It was Kyle Pitts. Like, it was a. Do you remember Jimmy Ward on Brandon Marshall?
yeah. Yeah.
It was the same difference.
Yeah. Womack is all of 5'9". Kyle Pitts is all of 6'5",
Right.
240. Like,
If
Come
Marcus Mariota didn't make that throw, his ass should have left the team a lot sooner. Like, you get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Right.
that was automatic. Football's all about matchups.
and I hate the fact. That's the only thing I didn't like about the quarterback show.
Uh-oh.
They showed the 49ers loss
Ugh.
against the Chiefs, and then they had to show our loss against the Falcons.
They had
to show that
bro.
one.
And they didn't only show them, they glorified them joints, right? It was the good cuts, like and it was over and over again.
And the only thing good about the Chiefs clip was that they highlighted Nick Bosa. I thought that was dope.
That was
for
dope.
a quarterback show for you because like they talked about Max Crosby a little bit, but like they actually had like a 10-second clip of like Bosa highlights and how he does his business. So I thought that was cool. But it was like
Defensive end show
everything.
coming next from Peyton Manning.
That's what me and Mrs. Mosnos was talking about. She was like, I actually loved this. She was like sitting here watching it with you, and I was like, I was breaking down like they showed the one of the Vikings plays that Kurt had dialed up. It was like a pass to the tight end on the other side, but when he called the play, he forgot what to say for the wide receiver, which was Jefferson, and he just said whatever. And my wife was like, well, why did he say whatever? I said, well, he said that because it doesn't really matter what he does. He's not even supposed to be a part of the play. I said, but Justin Jefferson is such a good wide receiver that if you look at that play in the slow-mo, not only did the corner have him, but the safe Buda Baker was looking dead at Jefferson. So he eliminated two people from that play, even though whatever he did was insignificant. So I was breaking that down with her, and she was like, it would be cool if they did another position. So maybe next time they do defensive ends, I said they could do Bosa, TJ Watt, Hassan Reddick, Myles Garrett. Maybe they do corners. I don't know, but if they do linebackers, they got to do Fred Warner. That would be absolutely crazy. But yeah, it was dope. And I hate that they started it. I don't know, even with Patrick Mahomes. Why did y'all have to go all the way back to 2020?
They did to show the Super Bowl. I was trying to tell you.
Like, why did y'all have to go all the way back there? Like,
listen, training camp tomorrow. What are your thoughts? Let's give me one take about training camp tomorrow, man. Leave us something positive. Leave the faithful with something positive for tomorrow. The training camp begins.
Peachy.
What I had to say about training camp is, one, it means that football is officially back, which is crazy because this offseason has been crazy without it. And I look forward to watching, new people that we've never seen before. That's always exciting when you get to watch newbies that are there, be it,
Facts.
coming in through free agency or coming in through the draft or, undrafted or whatever. And so looking forward to that. There'll be pressers afterwards. Those are going to be exciting. Those are the first ones that we've had. So, the guys getting back together and everything. What we have here is going to be great. I'm just excited, like I said, because football's back. So I'm excited about CMC, like I said earlier, getting a full year, just really getting in here and everything. Like I'm real excited about him. CMC is like, one of my favorites. He's always been my favorite since Stanford. So I'm very, very excited to see him out there balling out. And I just want to say real quick, because we won't be able to convene until, for a long time. Sending out prayers for our players. Seriously, like legit prayers. Like, please just protect this squad, because if this squad is healthy, then 6 is going to be ours. Like, there's not a team that is in the NFL with a healthy 49er team that's going to be able to handle us. There's no way. There's absolutely no way. I think we have the depth. I love our depth. And I just think that our front seven, I believe that the way that they are strategically going to be aligned to set up, I think they're going to be able to rush the quarterback. There was one problem we had last year. I think I told Breezy this or something about where I felt like that when we got Steve Wilkes, that he just had to come in and just make some little cleanup tweaks, whatever. One of the things that I think that he focused more on is he probably realized, they didn't get to the quarterback much last year. That's one thing that we can work on and change, and that's why you get Javon Hargrave and you get, these people. And I feel like that the way that it's going to be is going to be a lot better for us to rush the quarterback, because you rush the quarterback, you just like rustle the quarterback at all, then that causes the quarterback to make mistakes. And when that happens, that's how your secondary gets INTs. It's because you just got to throw it and, it's just got to go and whatever to avoid, getting sacked. We all know quarterbacks will just roll the ball all over the place, whenever they're hurried. And so the fact that we should, like for the opposing team, have a lot of quarterback hurries should be really beneficial for the 49ers. I just, as long as, health is on our side and everything is going good for that, I don't see why we can't bring 6. I really believe that this is the squad to do it.
Real well said, Peachy. Mose.
Listen, Peachy took what I was going to say. I was going to say, I don't care who it is y'all believe in and who y'all pray to. Just pray that this team stay healthy. So she nailed that, because this team healthy can do a lot of special things. Football is back, specifically 49ers football is back. It's such an exciting and amazing time. We know that we have a quarterback competition that's going on. No matter what side of your fence that you're on, let's keep everything civil. Let's keep it copacetic, and whoever wins that job, that is the head honcho, the leader of the San Francisco 49ers. So
That's
right. We will be rooting on whoever that is, so that this team is successful in completing the ultimate goal. Keep your eyes out on all the camp battles that we talked about, offense versus defense. Keep an eye out on some of those interposition battles and see if, one of your favorite players or one of your young guys or dark horses makes the team. Is something that we all will be looking at and discussing. It's going to be fun, and we can't wait to diagnose and dissect it all with you, the Nitty Gritty Niners fam. Love you guys.
Again, very well said. I'll close it out with this. It's real simple. I mean, and I know we're praying for health and all those good things, but this is football. I do know things are going to happen. So what I feel this season, I feel the 49ers are on their scar interpretations of being prepared. I think the 49ers figured out, all right, we just need to
Give yourself a ding for that. That was
I
nice.
love that.
we
Love
just
that.
need to have the right depth this year. Like we need to make sure we got better depth at the quarterback position because we have seen the worst that can possibly happen. We need to make sure our wide receiver room is stocked and full, just in case something happens. We can plug and play. We got these guys. Defense. I feel like they're just going to be more prepared because when you go through adversity year after year and it just happens around the health, at some point you got to accept that this is probably going to happen every year. So let's just be more prepared. So if it happens, we don't take a huge step back. So I agree with Peachy. I agree with you, Mose. But I will say this. I think the 40, I don't even know what they saying out there. I'm trying to make a goddamn point. I can't stand y'all.
Johnny Dell got outside of Sean. Johnny Dell's got chat MVP tonight, yo.
Really does.
Johnny Dell is cooking. He's cooking tonight.
Johnny, it's good to have you back, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Johnny because he has his apparel out. So make sure you guys go to his channel, click on the links, cop that Johnny D apparel and stuff like that. It's out. It's fire. I got wind of it earlier today. But listen, be prepared. I think that's what Kyle Shanahan has his team this year. I think this training camp is going to have the best 53-man roster, but I think those extra 17 players that are going to end up on this practice squad are going to be ready to plug and play if their number gets called. I really do. And the fact that we have like a lot of people were talking about Tay Martin and all these. If they don't make the 53 and they somehow make it to our practice squad, man, can you imagine when their number gets called and they finally get up to the 53-man roster? They're going to be ready to go. They're not rookies. They're veterans. They've been in this system year after year. They know the ins and outs. It's just a financial type of situation, and sometimes people just got to wait their turn. You know what I'm saying? Tay Martin looks good. Are you starting to move with Brandon and Debo? So it's got to be space for them. But I think the depth and being prepared is the key to the 49ers getting that 6. I think it starts tomorrow at training camp. Players report to training camp on tomorrow. They're going to be getting their conditioning in, weighed in, all that good stuff. I believe the first day they actually going to take the field to practice will be on Wednesday, which you guys will be able to attend the camp. So if you're going to training camp and you have an iPhone or a high-quality Samsung or whatever other type of phone y'all use, you want to take some videos, please do so, and then send them to us. We will give you the credit.
That would be
great.
great.
Give you the credit for the video. I can't be there. Peachy can't be there. Mose can't be there. So if you do send us video clips and you want to do that for us, you're going to be there. Take the video clips. I will promise we will give you credit. You will be tagged in the videos, all that good stuff. Via. We have no problems doing that, all right? Guys, what a great show. We haven't been here in over like a month. I felt like it's been a month, right? And so we're back. Monday nights is going to be exciting. Now, listen, there's going to be a couple Mondays where I'll be joining in on the road, but the team will hold the show down. Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nitty Gritty's in the building. Did we miss anything? Because I don't want to get out of here. I think we got all the contributions done. All right. And I think one question from Jorge, you guys into trading cards? I actually don't collect them, but I do buy them to give them away. I know that sucks because I've left my collection days. I don't know what I'm collecting anymore.
Yeah, I used to. I used to be in the trade. I had, obviously, when I was a kid, I had like all the different Pokemon cards, and then I graduated to basketball and football cards. So recently, for my daughter Montana's 6th birthday, we usually go to. She loves going to the beach, so we go to the beach to see the sunrise. And there's her favorite breakfast restaurant. It's called Uncle Willie's. So we go to the restaurant for her birthday, and in the front they have like just a thing full of trading cards, right? So I'm just sifting through and I'm just looking through some stuff. And for her birthday, I found this holographic TO Top Stars card. And they only for $1, bro.
Wow.
So I was like, I gotta get this to add this to the collection to put with my 49ers stuff. So hopefully one time if I go back out to Cali and T.O. is out there, I'm not going this year, but if I go next year for the home opener or any other game, T.O.'s out there, maybe I'll bring this and hopefully get this signed. But when I saw when you started that comment, I had my son go downstairs and grab it real quick. But this is one of the little cool trinkets I found, when we were out for my daughter's birthday. So.
And you only found it was only one?
Yeah, they had a bunch. Like they had Emmett Smiths. They had a bunch.
She knew where I was getting with this.
I was trying. Honestly, I was going through,
Yeah,
and like my wife and the kids were sitting down. She was like, "What are you doing?" I was sifting through to find any 49er that I could, but T.O. was the only one.
All right, that's cool. All right. Well, guys, what a great show. Peachy
Yes.
Mo's, love you guys. Thank you for being here. We're going to do this again next Monday. It's great. We're back. 49ers football is back. I know Callie was like, how many times will Kyle say on tomorrow's presser? I got
Over
8.
and under. Okay, you got 8.
I got 8.
I'll go. Ooh.
I think he's the only person that speaks tomorrow. I'm going with 8.
Is this the first one in a while?
This is the first one in a long while.
I'll go 11.
Damn.
Yeah, I have to go over. Have to go. You know what? I'll go 13 times.
13. We got 8, 11. Damn, Christy, 22. Yeah, Lord. He ain't gonna talk. He gonna be like,
She may be right.
She could be right.
She may be on it.
Everything is a Kyle's a terrible
49er
speaker.
Jeff.
Good
Yes.
grief.
What's going on, 49er Jeff? Terrible speak. 49.
There it is.
There it is. Guys,
Yeah.
thank y'all so much for tuning in. We out, yo. It's hot. I'm sweating. This
Yeah.
fan feel good. I
Yeah.
need to get out of this tank top. I know that sounded crazy, but I'm hot. Like it's hot. Guys, love
Breezy,
y'all.
just end the show.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
end
trying
the-
to. I'm trying to get to it, man. Let me set it up, man. Damn. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace out.